dream because everything was iconic.
We spent a lot of time trying to
the best
really
props ever.
make it cool.
Yeah.
I mean, even the wardrobe. I mean, with like the Calvin Klein underwear, and she thought his name was Calvin, and the life vest.
The best when she's like Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
Now here's I don't have the George McFly originals anymore, but this was George McFly murdered and George McFly honored.
Wow.
But again, like on that one, ILM needed
You had to blank it out.
a locked copy so that the rest of the newspaper would stay exactly as it was. And then in the montage at the Biff Museum, here's one of the newspapers from that, when Biff Cannon is the luckiest man on earth.
And he has the casino world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
he hit the jackpot.
This is one of those 3 newspapers.
Wouldn't you like to have that sports almanac for a day?
Oh, dream.
As a matter of fact, here is that sports almanac. Now, of
So
course,
iconic.
it's 2010 now, so for us, it's worthless.
Worthless. But for a while there.
And this one was actually used in the movie.
Wow.
It's beat up because it was. You know,
It was in the back pocket.
It's bent here. Yeah. Biff stuck it in his back pocket. They were fighting over it.
Wow.
I don't know in which scenes it was because we probably had 20 or 30 or 40 of these things made.
Oh, really?
But this thing is. It's beat up. It's got tape in it.
There are some blank ones too, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
And the cover for the Ooh La La,
Ooh La La, wow.
thing. But that's one that was actually.
And again, because it's from you and because it is camera and we just sold one of these for $6,000. Wow. So it's just to show you how valuable your items from this movie is. It's amazing, but it's like a collector's dream, especially coming from you.
So why was this such a big plot device?
Well, this really is the central plot device of Back to the Future Part 2. Without this idea, there's no movie. And the whole future thing is just really kind of a riff at the beginning and as kids to really get into the story of this almanac. Because in the first Back to the Future, Marty inadvertently changes the world, not intending to. In the second one, it's the classic time travel story. If you mess around with time for your own purposes, it's going to backfire. So Marty finds this almanac, and he's going to make a fortune when he gets back to 1985 with it. Doc admonishes him. Biff overhears it and steals it.
Right.
And when they go back to 1985, it's
Biff
hell.
Yeah.
It's the Biff where Dr. Emmett Brown is committed.
Yeah, and Biff has the big mega empire, and he's the zillionaire, and girls
Biff
galore.
Wins
Biff wins again.
Biff used the sports almanac to be the luckiest man.
It's that great scene where you see him taking it out of the car, right?
Exactly.
And you see him walking away, and trouble's going to start. That's
It all went
awesome.
awry.
All right, and I got to tell you about this.
Yes,
this
what is
here.
this?
Oh, my God, how instantly recognizable is that?
Instant.
At the end of Back to the Future Part 3, the DeLorean is destroyed, gets hit by the train. And the wreckage is strewn all over the train tracks. Well, Michael Antieri, our mechanical effects supervisor for the sequels, he decided that I should have this.
Wow.
So in the cleanup, he pulled this out. And
So for the effect in the car, it's a digital effect, though, right?
No.
It was
no.
this?
You
Wow.
see, do you see the back of this?
Sure.
We actually had wires going way down, and so that we could light these things up.
I was reading this thing last night. I was so excited to see you that there's a great scene when Marty and Doc are at the DeLorean. It's 2015, and Marty's in the jacket. And on the ground are all these guys laying on the ground.
That's right.
And each one has a squib in his hand
That's right.
to make the jacket go like this.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
I was looking at the photo. I'm like, what a great. I mean, just to see that photo and the magic.
To see how much went into
effort went into just that one scene where you were literally like just to get Marty's. So in 2015, Marty's clothes, he'd put them on and he'd press a button and they would self-fit. So he'd put his sneakers on, they'd self-lace and stuff. So this jacket, they had 5 or 6 different devices, wires that were coming out of it.
Right.
And these guys literally were laying on the floor like this.
We built like a raised platform on the back lot so that the effects guys could be literally under him.
So him and Doc Brown, and the DeLorean's here, and he's doing his bit, and as the jacket's morphing, these guys are But it was great to see the photo.
Yeah, that's
That must have been a fun day on set.
It was insane.
Really?
Because one little thing goes wrong.
Yeah.
If one guy hits his cue the wrong way, you got to do it all over again.
Wow. How many takes did that take?
I don't know.
Was it a couple days or?
We spent a lot of time doing all that future stuff. I'm sure we did the jacket stuff within a day.
Because it was complicated.
We had a good bunch of guys.
Yeah.
My favorite part was in the food, where it's like you put the tiny little piece of food and
the
then
pizza hydrator.
Yeah.
And
I was like, that's genius.
we actually had we had a tie-in with Pizza Hut on that, and we had food stylists from Pizza Hut. They made this pizza, and we had more people doing the makeup on the pizza than we had doing makeup on
the Pepsi bottles.
Yeah, those futuristic Pepsi bottles.
They're very cool.
So you are a genius. How did you come up with this idea for Back to the Future?
Don't tell my wife I'm a genius. don't tell her that.
It'll be our little secret.
In the summer of 1980, I was visiting my parents in St. Louis, Missouri, and I came upon my father's high school yearbook in the basement. And I'd never seen it. I'm thumbing through it, and I discovered my father was the president of his graduating class. I'm looking at this 18-year-old kid who's my dad, and I'm thinking about the president of my class, who was, kind of one of these rah-rah school spirit jerks. I couldn't stand this guy. And I thought, gee, was my dad like the president of my class? If I had gone to school with my father, would I have been friends with him, or would I have hated his guts? And that was it. I said, that's cool. So when I came back to California, I'm telling this idea to Bob Zemeckis, and he said, yeah, what if your mom went to the same high school, and what if she was like the school slut? And we just got ripping on this.
You just started rolling with it.
And we said, this is a movie. This is a movie. We'd always wanted to do a time travel movie, but we were never able to figure out really what the hook for it was.
Right.
And this was it.
Wow, that's so cool. So I see in the background one of the most iconic things of...
Everybody loves this. This is
it.
This is Mr. Fusion.
Mr. Fusion. So this
is the real one.
So Back to the Future 2?
From Back to the Future 3. 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
And look, there were more than one Mr. Fusion because we have more than one DeLorean.
So this is now Doc realizes that he can power his DeLorean by banana peels.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And it works. I mean, it works.
That is the coolest thing. Wow.
You can open it up and put your garbage in there.
Amazing.
And spring-loaded latch there.
Very eco-friendly.
And of course, what they did in the first movie, I think it was Michael Chaffee was the visionary that thought this up. This is a Krupp's coffee grinder.
You can tell.
That's all that it is. And you can see this little logo here. We had thought it should be like made with a known brand name, and it's kind of a riff on the old Westinghouse logo. We went to Westinghouse, but they wouldn't give us permission to use their logo. So somebody said, well, let's put a few more lines and a few more dots in there.
And it's cool.
All right.
It is the future.
We'll take the lampshade off. I promise not to wear it on my head. Boom.
Wow. So this is proudly on your desk in your office?
This is proudly on my desk in my office. And again, Michael Antieri, who did this time displays for me, he thought this up. And he said, Bob, I got something for you. He walked in my office one day. He had this. I just fell out of my chair.
Let me ask you, now that they've made a fourth Indiana Jones, has anybody ever thought about making a fourth film?
Would you want to see Back to the Future without Michael J. Fox in it? I wouldn't.
Yeah, it would be tough.
And I think we've seen some sequels that maybe they went too far.
Yeah.
Maybe they shouldn't have made an extra one of
too many Star Wars
several.
films, right?
Maybe so, yeah. So
leave it the way it is.
I've been asked this many times, and most of the fans are very happy when I say, no, we don't want to do Back to the Future 4.
Yeah, it's
or
tough.
a prequel or anything. Just.
It is what it was.
You got to leave the party at the peak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because sometimes you hear about people like, well, they should remake Casablanca, the Maltese Falcon.
No.
They did make Casablanca, that stupid thing on TV.
Yeah, horrible.
David Soul.
Yeah. They ruined. You can only do it one time.
Exactly.
The magic,
Exactly. Yeah.
The magic only works once, and and again, just so iconic, and just again, they're so valuable. That's the most amazing part. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, just so you know, something like this in today's market would bring $50,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they really are. So, they really are.
I'm not going to let you have this because I got to make sure that my daughter can pay her taxes in the future.
In case she ever gets, she could always put this on her car someday and move around. So obviously, this is a keeper. But, as we were talking, Tracy was talking to you, we are doing this auction for Team Fox. And, we're trying to find, material from Back to the Future that we can sell to raise money for Parkinson's research. And we were fortunate, to hook up with the group that's doing the Going Back, event at Universal next month, and that we were hoping that you'd probably give us a hoverboard and Mr. Fusion. That's really nice of you.
Anything that you can start with, we would be so
I
gracious.
wouldn't do this for anything except for the Team Fox Foundation.
Wow.
But I'm going to let that Sports Almanac go.
Wow.
And I'm going to let these newspapers go.
Unbelievable.
Oh, wow, thank
Bobby,
you
and
so much.
I'll tell you what else I'll do. I'll even throw these guys in.
I mean, these are my
awesome,
favorite.
yeah.
These
Wow.
like pull at my heartstrings.
And this is, again, nobody's even seen these in this size. Nobody today would even know how these effects were done.
No, and I think the fact that they come from you, we can get letters from you. That each one, we'll put a letter
Absolutely.
in, each piece comes, because that'll make a huge difference.
Okay,
And I think that the fans will go crazy.
Yes.
Because, I told you, we sold one of these for $6,000. I'm sure this will set a new world record for this almanac.
Well, yeah, I say that was used in the movie.
This was screen used.
That's why it's bent.
Because like you said, there were a bunch of them, but to say this is one of the ones for sure used makes a huge difference.
Right.
And the newspapers, like you said, there's been so many that have been reproduced.
Right.
The fact that you have real ones.
These are the ones that came back to my office after ILM
and these
finished
photographs
their
are
job.
fantastic. So I think we're going to raise thousands and thousands of dollars for this charity.
Great.
Yes.
Which would be
That would
awesome.
be